Professor
Don't
Zortzi is
worry, we
saying,
aren't here to
is
tell you what to
atheism
believe.
rational?
Today we're digging into a very specific argument by Hamza Sortzis.
And it's a provocative one. He suggests the atheist worldview might, actually self-destruct.
Yeah, just to be clear, our mission here isn't to debate God's existence. We are not touching that.
No, not at all. We are purely looking at the structure of his argument. He basically says, if you look at the definitions and the mechanisms, the logic just doesn't add up.
Right, he treats it like a logic puzzle, and he breaks it down into two main pillars. The first one feels a bit like, well, a definition trap.
It does. He starts with this idea of the actual state of affairs.
Okay.
And this all hinges on how you define rationality. For Sortzis, being rational isn't just about thinking clearly. It's about aligning your beliefs with reality.
Okay, but hold on. Who gets to decide what the actual state of affairs even is?
And that's the pivot point.
Because if we disagree on what reality is, then we're definitely going to disagree on what's rational.
Exactly. Sortzis operates from the premise that the existence of a creator, one worthy of worship, is a justified fact. To him, that is reality.
So if rationality is aligning with that reality, and you reject the so-called fact of a creator,
Then you are, by definition, being irrational.
it's a syllogism.
It is. If A is reality and you reject A, you're in error. Simple as that.
But that feels, I don't know, circular. It only works if I already grant his premise.
Which is a totally fair critique.
As an atheist, I wouldn't accept that premise to begin with, so the whole argument falls apart for me.
And I think Sortzis probably anticipates that. That's why this first point is really just the setup. The second pillar is where he gets more technical.
This is where he tries to dismantle the whole engine.
Right. He shifts focus to philosophical naturalism.
We should probably define that before we go any further.
Good idea. So philosophical naturalism is basically the view that nature is all there is. No gods, no spirits, just, physics, chemistry, biology.
And if you're an atheist, you generally subscribe to this.
Mm-hmm.
And you use the Darwinian mechanism evolution to explain how your brain came to be.
Exactly. My brain is a product of evolution. It evolved to help me survive, find food, avoid being eaten.
And that's precisely where Zortzis spots a conflict, a deep one.
He uses what's known as the evolutionary argument against naturalism. The core idea is that evolution selects for survival,
Okay.
not for truth.
Wait, unpack that. Wouldn't knowing the truth help me survive? I mean, if I see a tiger, I need to know it's a true tiger so I can run.
Not necessarily. You just need to believe run. Evolution actually rewards false positives if they keep you alive.
How so?
Well, think about it. You hear a rustle in the grass, your brain screams, "Monster!"
Yeah.
So you run. Now, maybe it was just the wind. Your belief was false, but you survived.
And if I had stayed behind to investigate the truth of the rustle?
You might have gotten eaten, so the false belief was better for survival.
So my brain is wired for safety, not for deep philosophical accuracy.
That's his point, exactly. Zortzis argues that if our cognitive faculties, our ability to reason, are purely the result of this blind survival mechanism, we have no guarantee that they're truth reliable.
They weren't built to solve metaphysical riddles.
They were built to navigate the Serengeti.
I see where this is going. So if I say, I've used my rational brain to conclude there is no God, but my brain is just a survival hack.
Then you have no basis to trust that conclusion. You are using a tool that, by your own worldview, isn't designed for finding objective truth. Sortzis calls this a defeater.
A defeater.
Yeah, it defeats your own belief. It leads to total skepticism.
It's like using a broken ruler to measure a table and then insisting, its exact length.
That is a perfect analogy. He's arguing that naturalism undermines itself. If naturalism is true, your brain is unreliable. If your brain is unreliable, you can't trust your belief in naturalism.
You're sawing off the very branch you're sitting on.
You are. It's a fascinating corner to be painted into, isn't it?
It is. It really forces you to audit your own operating system.
It does. It suggests that to even trust your own logic, you might have to assume your mind is something more than just a biological accident.
Which brings us to a pretty provocative thought to leave you with. If our minds really are just survival engines and not truth seekers, does that mean logic itself is just a biological coping mechanism? And if it is, can we ever really know anything for sure? Thanks for diving in with us.